Good morning, artists. Happy Tuesday. Sorry we're a little bit late today. Had a meeting I had to take care of, but we'll go a little bit longer today then to make up for it. So we're just going to keep working on our circles that you guys got assigned earlier. Hope that's going well, and let me know if you have any questions. Please put them in either if you're online with me, comment in the chat, or if you pick this up on YouTube later, you can always put it in the YouTube comments, or probably the best place is on Google Classroom. Go into the actual assignment and put it in the comments there. Please don't put it on the main page. I don't always get a notification when somebody does that, but if you comment on the actual lesson, I will get an email notification and I can see that pretty quickly. I'll make sure I can answer that for you. And also check the other comments. If you have a question, check the comments on the assignment to see if somebody else already asked that, and you can get your answer from there. But of course, the best way to get answers is to listen to the videos or come and chat with me live. So let's just get right to it today. Spin you around. Make sure it's all lined up. So still working on some circles here. I think we need another large circle. We're going to put that one off on the side here. Make sure I'm all straightened out and everything. There we go. It is a bright and sunny day out right now. They're saying it's going to get warmer. Maybe some rain this weekend, but overall not too bad. All right, what do we do for this one? Let's do, what have I not shown you guys yet? We did circles, we did some zigzags. We're gonna need a pink color over here. I try to not have too many of the same colors right next to each other, if possible, just to make sure that it doesn't get too crazy. Let's do a little vine thing. Let's do something fun with that. So here's a good thing you can try and do. Pick a spot to start, and we'll do a little snake up to the top. Come a little closer. And then what we're going to do is go from one side and then the other and do a little round shape, almost like you're doing a little heart. One side and the other. So sorry about this being a little bit later today, guys. We got an email from the bosses about having some staff meetings this week. One for teachers like me, who it's their first or second year in the school, and then a big staff meeting on Thursday. So Thursday stream might be a little late depending on how long that meeting runs. So just a heads up, I already put that on Classroom, but I thought I'd want to tell you guys that as well. So let's do another one. Let's make another long one here. Just do one after the other. So tomorrow will be at normal time. Hopefully you can come out and join me. I've had a few more people logging on and joining our little small but growing community. All right, so once you got a few that have gone all the way to the top, you'll notice that you have some different spaces kind of happening here, and I'll show you what we can do with that. So we can have something sneak through the middle here, but we won't take it all the way to the top since they meet up there. Instead, we'll go ahead and throw in a shorter one. So last night I had some time. I started working on one of my own big projects, and I started just recording what I was doing. And I think I'm going to make like not a stop motion, but like a time lapse almost. It'll probably still end up being a long video because these projects take several hours to do. Even when I did a part of one of them, it was like 2 hours work and ended up with like a 5-minute video. I think I mentioned that yesterday. So it'll probably end up being a longer video, but I think it'll be cool. It's one of those really satisfying things to do too. Sneak one in here. Now, if you want to get really tricky, you can start trying to sneak in smaller looking vines. That might make it feel a little too full, but I'm not one to leave a whole lot of huge blank spaces, so making it work. One last one. So remember, the goal with each of these is to try and fill in the space. Ta-da. And you can do that in any way you like. Any kind of little pattern or design. Or even mini drawing. So this is kind of like a mini drawing. So like these are more designs. This is more mini drawing. And it's using a pattern. There we go. On to the next one. Let's scoot it. And we're going to sneak another big one in. I'm going to do that right over here. I like to mix up the sizes of these two. So even though I've got a couple of these where they're the same size, close to each other, I try to not have like all huge ones to one side and all small ones to another side. It's hard to see around the glass. There we go. And it's been a while since we had red, so it's time for a red. How about, what's a nice one that I haven't done yet? Let's do something with some squares. So this is kind of similar to the one with the circles. Ooh, why are you on such an angle? There we go. So on this one where I had bigger circles and then started to sneak in smaller ones, this is going to be kind of similar. We're going to start off with some square shapes. And you don't have to make these too close to each other, and you don't have to necessarily make them all the same. The goal is just to start making some square and rectangular spots all throughout, and then you just keep on filling in. So you can have some larger ones, you can start sneaking in some small ones. I'd probably recommend doing larger ones first, so that as you start running out of room, then you can start working smaller and smaller. Have a few corners showing them going off the page. Now you could handle this one the same way we did the circle, where you're coloring in around it, but it's not necessary. You can save that for when you actually, if you decide to actually color these in. It's kind of cool. It comes out looking almost like tiles in a weird way. It's looking pretty nice. I like it. So I'll be really interested to see what kind of designs and patterns you guys come up with. Remember, you're allowed to look at other people's work and be inspired, but please don't try to turn in any projects that are not your own. And if you happen to be working with a friend or a sibling, please make sure you each turn in your own work. Just because you might change one little part of it or erase a name or something off of it doesn't mean I won't be able to tell that you're turning in the same artwork. This could use one tiny skinny thing right here, and I think that that one is pretty good. More fun patterns. All right, let's get a medium-sized one. Sneak it on this side. I don't want it to be too close. There we go. Let's see. Let's do another kind of shape pattern. But which one? We've done this. We've done our little curly ones here. Let's do something with a triangle. We haven't done anything triangular yet. Oh, that's kind of triangular. I take it back. Let's do similar to this rounded one. We're going to do 1, 2, 3. So I think I mentioned to you guys yesterday, my sister had to go back to work. She said that everybody there was being super careful. They have one of the staff members was checking temperatures to make sure that everybody was coming in without a fever. asking them about if they had any symptoms. She said everybody pretty much stayed in their offices. She wore her mask all day. And that was a definite relief to know that they were taking everything really seriously there. For her sake and for my sake, because pretty much if she gets sick with how contagious this is, I will most likely be getting sick. And as any of you who had me during the second trimester know, I was out already a few times from being just flu sick. No thank you on that again. This is coming out kind of fun. I didn't do a triangle one on my original drawing, so this is new territory. This part gets a little trickier though. It's a little bit harder to sneak in the triangles. So what'll probably end up happening is we'll have a few where we're not going to see all the lines, or where we might just see something like this. You see them hiding around and beneath each other. The dogs are napping upstairs all during my staff meeting, and I can hear footsteps. Someone getting on or off the couch, probably. That's pretty well filled in. We'll sneak another small one in here. Now, last time we did this, we had an oops. And we had to turn it into a Jupiter planet. So we're going to be extra careful this time. There we go. Let's just do kind of like how we did our little checkerboard here, but let's do just kind of a plain checkerboard. So straight line, across the middle, little curve, one and two, and let's rotate it. One and two, just like that. So not all of them have to be crazy over designed. You can do something a little bit more simple. That is acceptable. Let's go back up here. Let's make another small one up here. And let's do something with red. Let's try this fun one. Come closer again. So, I'm going to make two close together lines. 1, 2. You could use a ruler for this, but if you have a steady enough hand, it's not necessary. Okay? Then I'm going to shift to another spot, and I'm going to do 2 lines again, but this time when I hit this one, I'm going to stop and then go past. Stop, go past it. So it looks like one is kind of sitting behind the other. I'll do that again. And let's go in a different direction. This time behind two of them. So this is where a ruler would come in handy, so you know when to kind of start and stop, but I think we can manage without. And for this one, you just keep filling in, looking for like the biggest spaces, and drawing your lines through those bigger spaces, just to try and fill those. Not too bad. I'm going to spin it. I'm going to sneak one more right through the middle here. There we go. One more. Can't help it, must add more detail. There we go. All right. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. All right. Now where shall we go? We've done a big one in each color. I've got medium ones in each color. I've got small ones in each color, so I'm pretty well covered that way. It looks like we just need to keep adding some more. Let's do another medium one on this side here. And do another little black one here. How about, let's do another artsy kind of one. Maybe I'll sneak an eyeball. What do you think? I'm going to start off with a circle shape. Let's even get real creative. Let's add another circle inside it. Careful, careful. And I'm going to give it that split eye, that kind of cat or serpent eye. And add a little triangle on one side, a little triangle on the other. Maybe kind of do some little lines in there just to shade it a bit. Okay. And now, since we're going to go with something kind of lizardy, we're going to start by adding some little scales going around it. And those are just going to be some little rounded shapes going around the eye, all the way to the corner. And on the other side, another small rounded shapes. All the way to the end. Sneak a little one at the top. And now we're going to get a little bigger. My new art project I'm doing has a large serpent on it, like a large snake. So I'm going to have to get used to doing lots of these scales for that. So we're just going to keep going, and we're just going to keep adding layers one after the other. That one's done. Now just for a little added detail, I'm going to go in and sneak a couple little lines. It's kind of similar to when we did our little landscapes projects a long while back, to when you're doing like the grass. And you just add this around the bottom parts of the scale. So if you think of the outside edge, you're kind of just adding this to the inside part where the scale tucks in behind other scales. And what this does is it gives it a little bit of a shadow, and it just helps the whole thing feel a little more 3D. So you just add these little lines along the edge. And it's just a nice way of adding a little bit of a overlapping feel to the scales. It helps things to stand out kind of cool. So you can see the difference between the top part there that has that detail and the bottom part that doesn't. So a little heads up for next week, since we just did 2 drawing assignments in a row, we're going to be doing a little paper sculpture. And the only thing you're going to need for that is paper. So you won't need any pencils or pens or anything unless you really want to do, you can draw some designs on it afterwards. But you are going to just need paper. It can be any kind of paper. It can be any kind of scrap paper. It can be, you know, junk mail, newspaper, magazine, ads that you got in the mail, anything like that. Old coupons you don't need, anything. All right, let's sneak another little guy in here. Let's make this one kind of a little bit off the edge. Lost a little control there, that's all right. So for this one, all right, we're gonna try something, you guys. I'm gonna start off with a circle shape, and then you're gonna draw off of one side, kind of follow around the top, and do a little S curve coming down. And then do the same thing on the other side. Start from the bottom, whoop, little S curve going off the top. Now we're going to go from the edge, we're going to follow that line up and over. Boop. And now the other way. Follow that in. Look at that. It's a cool little 3D type thing. Let's color that center in. Simple and fun. Let's move to a new spot. I need to have something on this side. Sneak a medium-sized one over on this end. Now, so far I haven't repeated any of my designs. that is not a requirement for you. If you need to repeat, like if you have 3 designs that you really like and you want to do those over and over again, that is totally fine. I don't mind that at all. We might repeat some kind of ideas. We're going to try something. I want to do something kind of similar to this little zigzag, but we're going to take it in a different way. We're going to turn this into let's do a zigzaggy kind of shape. Boom. And then we're going to go around it. That's kind of cool. Keep it going. So the other day I popped onto YouTube just to put on some stuff for background while I was doing my work. And one of the recommended videos came up for this kind of new monster character that has shown up. Oh, we smeared it. That's all right. That happens. Some of you may have heard about it. I know Markiplier did a video on a game based on it. It's this monster called Siren Head. And it's a pretty crazy looking monster. If you haven't seen it, or you're not into monsters so much, it is a creature that is very, very tall, depending on what medium you look at. It can be about the size of a good tree. Some fake videos have him looking even taller. But it's a almost skeleton-like monster, but instead of a head, it has a siren, like the kind that we use for tornado warnings. And it makes those kind of noises. It makes the sounds of sirens, or it makes the sound of like radio static, all sorts of different things. And, you know, like all great, you know, monster types, it will track you down and hunt you. But I'd heard recently, so all these people are now making, you know, fake sightings and YouTube videos. I caught it on tape. Writing stories, making art. There's a couple, I think, of video games about him out now that are very much like the old Slender Man games that were really popular for a while. But I heard that the creator of him is actually planning on making everyone stop, about telling the creators of these games that they need to quit doing it, because this is a character that he has created. I'm going to sneak a tiny one in here. Let's see. Pause that story. Let's just have some fun. Let's do some swirly lines on this one. Just do a couple of interesting and overlapping lines. Yeah, it's cool. But in any case, there's been people who have been, you know, trying to make videos or video games, and the people who are making video games are trying to sell the games to get money off of it, which, you know, that's what you do. But because they don't own Siren Head the character, let's see. Hey, we're back. Hopefully. She says that right before it dies. No, we're good. We're good. Okay, we're good. Sorry about that, guys. Phone call apparently just kicks me right out of the stream. problem with streaming off your phone. Alright, we do something kind of swirly. What can we do now? What's new and exciting? We did triangles and we did squares. Let's do... Sure. Let's get some pink. Let's go all in. Let's go in and do hearts. We'll only do a repeat of 2 though on this. In any case, talking about Siren Head. So the creator of Siren Head is now trying to shut down all the people that are making videos of it. And I know some people are a little bit upset by that because they're like, hey man, we're just being creative. You can't stop our creativity. But here's the problem. The guy who originally made Siren Head, he's an artist. It was part of a painting that he did. Or a photo manipulation, I think, rather. Where he took a photograph and he edited in this scary creature. It's the same thing that the guy who made Slender Man did. He used regular photography and then he used things like Photoshop or other art programs to add in a spooky character. Now, he gives credit to where he gets the original photos from. He has a photographer that helps him out with that, I think. And then he adds the spooky aspect. But the people that are taking Siren Head and using it in their videos are doing it without permission. And that is not legal when the artwork is yours. So if I made character and artwork and somebody tried to make money off of it when it belonged to me, if I could prove that this was mine, you can't use it, I could get that person to stop legally. Now here's where it gets tricky though. A lot of people are claiming that Siren Head is a part of this group called the SCP, which if you've been into any kind of internet monster type stuff, you have definitely heard of them. Or if you've really ever hung out on like Markiplier's channel for a while, he did a lot of videos based on this SCP group, which was it's a website that is devoted to pretty much just gathering spooky stories. It's a lot of people giving stories of these different crazy creatures that they may have encountered. I need a little one right over here. And part of the deal, though, with SCP is anything on that site is considered free to use. That was the purpose when they made the site, was they said, we want this to be something that anybody can be a part of. But that also means if you choose to post something on there, you are telling them that it is okay for other people to use it. I'm going to do another little kind of swirly one, guys, but this one's going to be like a little S wormy shape. And then we'll make another little curve. That's kind of fun. So that's why there are so many like games based on SCP, because it is spooky stuff. And the website pretty much says you can use anything and that's okay. But there are some spooky things that are out there that are not a part of SCP, which means that you are not free to just go ahead and help yourself to them. And that's things like Siren Head. Siren Head is not from this SCP website. So even though people are trying to claim that it is, if they claim that it's part of SCP, even though it's not, they feel that gives them the right to use it. Now, unfortunately, there are plenty of characters that are not SCP related. Like Slender Man is not SCP. The Rake is not SCP. You might not know what those are. Some of them are kind of old now. Let's do another middle one over here. The problem that's happening is that there are some people out there that feel that anything spooky that happens, they should be able to just go ahead and use it, which is not the case. So you guys have to be careful out there when you've decided to maybe be inspired by someone else's artwork. You don't want to completely, we'll say, you don't want to like rip them off. You don't want to take the whole thing. Oh, what do we do here? Where's my paper? Let's pick something from there we haven't done yet. Oh, let's do this little fan shape. I like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a rounded shape. Like a little leaf. Beautiful. Let's make it even more patterny. So what I'm saying though is just to be careful. Some people don't mind you using their property if they feel that you're not just trying to make money off of them. That's why you see YouTubers have kind of gotten a good relationship now with game designers and game developers, where they're allowing them to put up video of their games because they've learned that it gets more hype for their games, especially the scary ones, and ultimately they can make more money. If a popular YouTuber like Markiplier or Jacksepticeye or PewDiePie or any of them, if they give their thumbs up for a game, usually more people will go out and try to get a hold of it. Especially the developers that are not part of a big company. I mean, Capcom can almost guarantee that they're going to sell a game if it says Resident Evil. You know, I mean, it's a big name. A lot of people know it. But little developers who don't have big names or big games to them yet depend on people on YouTube to get their word out. So for a while, there's a real popular one called Hello Neighbor. And that released it was like a pre-alpha, meaning this is not a complete game. This is more like an idea. But it was spooky, and people played it and got excited about it and wanted to see more. So the game kept coming out with, here's the alpha version, here's the beta version, like just continually coming out with all of these different versions, trying new things to see what would end up becoming the most popular one that ended up sticking. But I remember by the time the game came out, it felt like it had been so long and the game was so different than it had been at the beginning. It didn't feel like the same game anymore. And I don't think I saw hardly any people really playing it too much. It wore out its welcome. All right, what do we got room for? I think we got some room up here. Do another good medium-sized one. And the furthest thing from this is red. here's an interesting looking one. Let's do a zigzag. Just 2. And then we're going to give it a little space. Zigzag some more. So what was the point of my telling you all that? The point of me telling you all that is this. You can't just steal other people's work. You wouldn't want somebody to steal your work. So just be careful when you're going out there and looking at cool pictures. Make sure you know who created it. So in the case of, this Siren Head character. If the people who were making the games and the other artwork of it credited the original artist, here's my drawing of Siren Head based on the artwork by, I think his name is Trevor Henderson. You're showing respect to the artist, the original creator of it. As long as you're not trying to make money off of it, I'm sure he would appreciate it. But he has the right to say, hey, don't use my artwork. And you have to go, so sorry, and you have to take your artwork down. It really just depends on the company. That's why you don't see a whole lot of artwork going around of Disney characters. Disney is incredibly protective of their work. If they're going to make artwork, they want it to be from them so they can get the money off of it. And that's not, it's not fair to call it like a selfish thing, because that's how art works. Somebody makes something and they can sell it. That's why if you go to like conventions and stuff, you might find artwork from various medias, comic books and whatnot, but chances are you're not going to find a whole lot of stuff based off of really heavy properties. And things like Marvel, you're probably not going to find people doing nearly as much Marvel art unless it's like clearly comic book based. If it's movie based, they own those characters. You cannot touch those characters. That came out kind of cool. Little zigzag break with some lines. I like that a lot. Okay, we still got some room here. Let's spin it around to the other corner. I'm kind of just going corner by corner now at this point. Have another medium-sized one. Let's do this. We're going to keep the same circle. I'm going to do a line on the inside. Move it a little bit. That's interesting. Let's go in this direction, maybe? You say I'm curious enough. And far be it for me to pass up a chance to add more detail, right, you guys? Right? So, moral of the story. Give credit. Preferably ask permission. Oh, that's fun. Crazy kind of ball shape. Nice, nice. Let's spin it around again. I got room here for another one. Let's do another little guy. This one needs to be red. And let's see, what's a good pattern? Kind of just like this one, doing little raindroppy shapes. It's kind of fun looking. You guys think it's weird that sometimes I comment on my art as I'm doing it and I'm like, oh man, that looks cool. It's because I don't always go into this with a plan. I mean, sometimes it's better just to have a little fun with it and see what happens. So if I get amazed by the way something looks, it's because I didn't plan it out to begin with, and I'm excited that that this experiment worked out. Let's try something. Let's do a stripe and some little curves inside it. And a stripe and some little curves inside it. Stripe and little curves inside it. That's fun. You see how easy it is to like just come up with a really quick little pattern just to experiment with one thing. This is a theme of half circles. So we're going to create a bunch of half circles. Ta-da! So simple. Let's see. We got time for at least one more. I think it's going to have to be, looks like it's going to be down in this end. Right here. And then I'd say our paper is pretty decently filled. Of course, I would love to sneak it all the way to the edge, but I think we'll stay away from the edge a little bit. That means one last thing. What do we do? Okay, I got it. In red, though. In red. We're going to do a little spiral. Circle all the way around and close it. Like a little snail shell. And then we're going to do it again. And then let's go in the other direction. That's good, that's good. And I'll sneak a few little partial circles on the edges just to show that it continues. One more. I lied. One more, guys. One. She can't be stopped. She saw this corner, and this corner was too empty. Seriously, this will be it. I promise. This will be the last one. I promise. For real. No, really. Honestly, it will be. Okay. All right. We're gonna try something. What color? Looks like this one has to be red again. I got a pink and 2 blacks right there. All right. Let's start off with. Let's just split this. And we're going to do it kind of like this one, but we're not going to do the other way. We're just going to go All right. Now let's do, turn you on the side here. Let's do some stripes. And then let's do circles. And then back to stripes. So you could treat each of these sections as something totally different and do something different in each one. But I kind of like the repetition of this. Where it goes from one to another. All right. Wow, that pen got really super close. I'm sorry for that, guys. Ooh. Ta-dum! Yay. That's pretty cool. So we have some fun, we have some patterns, we have some design ones, little drawing pieces. Came out pretty nice. All right, so tomorrow's stream, let me turn you back around here. Face forward again, please. My arm is so fun. Check, make sure it's all straight. Turn you just a bit. Okay, so Back again tomorrow for usual time on our stream. And since our project is done, now we're going to get to do something else. So we'll see what we're up to. Maybe we'll be doing a few more little character drawings. I don't know. If you have any ideas, send them my way for something that you might like to see me to draw on these days where we have the assignment done. Otherwise, I will see you tomorrow. We'll see what goes on. You guys have a great day. Stay safe. Wash your hands. Wear your masks. All of that. Okay? Have a great day.